Hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope you are doing well. This is 5 things we have learned about Manchester United. It is a bit early in the season, but hey, I think we've learned a lot and there's a lot to talk about in the last 2 to 3 weeks about this team. So yeah, stick around. If you are interested in that, please do smash that thumbs up button and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new and let me know in the comments down below what some of your thoughts are on these points. Do not be shy. Let's get into it with number one then. Number one, I think, and it's the most obvious one, so we'll get it out of the way at the beginning of the video. Manchester United are not ready to make any significant improvements and any significant steps forward without investment. In relation to us finishing third, in relation to us getting Champions League football, and in relation to us making 3 semi-finals, I don't think Manchester United, this team, gets any better than it was last season, without any significant investment. I think whether you look at the centre-back position, whether you look at our full-back positions, whether you look at right wing, which to me is probably tied top priority with centre-back, or if you're one of those people that think we need a number 9, because in today's game, I tell you what, I can see the argument for a number 9. I'm still Tony Martial's biggest fan, and I don't want us to replace him. But I finally understand why people think we need a more classic number 9 who's a poacher, who is patient and stays up the field rather than tries to come back and do everything. So look, whatever position, wherever your agendas lie, and whoever you don't like in the team, and whoever you think needs to be replaced, I think we can all agree as Manchester United fans, as divided as we are nowadays, we should be called Manchester Divided and not Manchester United. As divided as we are, I think we can all agree that there are some priority positions. Even though our opinions might clash, we all think this team needs investment. I think we can all agree that the ownership of this club has a clear pattern and it's a repetitive cycle of not backing the manager in the second season or in the third season. We go through this repetitive cycle of making Champions League football and then just not showing any ambition in the follow-up season, and then things come crashing down and boom, 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 before you know, Christmas, Ollie out is trending, Mourinho out is trending, Van Gaal out is trending. And I just think now is not the time to be sacking yet another manager. I think now it's a time as fans to wake up. Yes, we've still got to criticize the management. We've still got to criticize bad tactics. We've still got to criticize team selection. We've still got to criticize poor game management and poor man management and late substitutions and all that good stuff. But at some point, we need to wake up and say, okay, we now know what the problems are with the manager. Let us look at the problems with this club. Number two that we have learnt in the last 2 weeks is that our defense is massively underperforming. For some of you, this is not a surprise. A lot of people questioned the centre-back partnership, including myself. Harry Maguire and Lindelof, you'll hear it all over the place on all Manchester United fan channels. They just don't complement each other. They're just too similar. And for all the good attributes that they have between the two of them, they seem to be making a lot of mistakes. You know, all the things that Harry Maguire was good at, being dominant in the air at Leicester City, being solid at the back, being someone you can rely on to lead a back line. All of that has fallen away at Manchester United. So on top of the fact that these guys aren't particularly quick and good at closing people down, it seems like for some reason nowadays, they've just lost their heads in that back line. There's no leadership, there's no grit, there's no fight, there doesn't seem to be even any remnants of determination. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Obviously, that's not the main problem. The main problem is the fact that they don't complement each other. But I think it goes a little deeper than that. And I think at the moment, because there is nothing better on the bench besides Eric Bailly, and even though, you know, some people think he isn't good enough, including myself, but besides Eric Bailly, let's ignore the Eric Bailly argument for a bit, right? Because let's just say Eric Bailly starts, right? Let's just say you drop Lindelof and Eric Bailly starts. Or you drop Maguire and Eric Bailly starts. The other person in that partnership is still capable of making mistakes, including Eric Bailly, by the way. He doesn't have good games all the time. He's reckless. He has no positional awareness at times. And for all the natural talent and skills he has as a footballer, sometimes it doesn't really suit the situation for Manchester United, right? But let's ignore Eric Bailly, right? You've still got another problem. Whoever plays next to him, I still question whether or not they're good enough to play in a back four that is ambitious enough to win a title or ambitious enough to go on and win some trophies. I don't think Eric Bailly and Harry Maguire or Eric Bailly and Lindelof, number one, I don't think they've played enough to show anything to prove. I don't think they've proven that they're a good centre back partnership because we haven't seen either of those partnerships, whichever ones you prefer. And number two, even when they do start playing and start playing consistently, if Eric Bailly is by some miracle able to stay fit, I don't think that's a partnership that wins trophies. I think Manchester United genuinely need to spend and get some new defenders in. Or thing number three that we have learnt this week, and I think this one is not as obvious as the other ones, and I'm not hearing people talking about it as much. I think the combination between Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba is absolutely vital to the success of this team. And I think what we saw against Brighton, what we saw against Crystal Palace, what we saw in parts against Crystal Palace last season towards the end, against Leicester City last season towards the end, even though we won that 2-0, and even in the game against West Ham, is when Bruno Fernandes has a bad game, or Paul Pogba has a bad game, or the calamity situation where they both have bad games. It's a nightmare for Manchester United, because at least now we have Donny van de Beek, who didn't even come on until the last 5 minutes anyways. At least now we have Donny van de Beek, so that is the positive of that signing. But I don't know. I don't know about this partnership, and I think for all the criticism that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets, I get why people call him a PE teacher. I don't agree with it. And if you're being memey and you're being trolly, that's fine. Banter's banter. I've called him a PE teacher before. But there's some people who genuinely believe that his tactics do not exist, and he's almost just telling people to go out there and freestyle, which is absolute rubbish. You can see that Manchester United are trying to achieve a desired playing style. Whether or not said playing style is the most sophisticated and the most successful and sustainable long term, look, we'll just have to wait and see. I was happy to watch Manchester United, happier than I've ever been since Sir Alex Ferguson towards the end of last season. And I will not waver on that, because the football was attractive, but it was also effective. I'm a person who doesn't really take keenly towards attractive, fast-flowing, attacking football if it doesn't get the results. But if it gets the results, it's a win-win. You enjoy watching your team, and you get the results. So it's an ideal situation. And you're not going to play well all of the time, so you just got to appreciate it. But anyways, I digress. My point is, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics, one thing we can all agree on, even those of us who are Ole in, his tactics rely heavily on the synergy between Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, because Paul Pogba obviously being the creativity from deep, and Fernandes being the creativity in front of him. If they are not linking up properly and they are not playing properly, and the people in front of them, Martial, Greenwood, and I can't believe I nearly forgot Rashford there, aren't playing as well, it's a huge problem. And I know that sounds obvious, but with teams like Man City, with teams like Liverpool, and even to a certain extent Chelsea, even though they're really inconsistent like us, there's a system. Even when players aren't playing well, there's a system, there's a pattern, there's repetition, there's a clear cycle that works even when players aren't playing well. With Manchester United, it almost seems like our cycle really heavily relies on individual talent playing well, which is not a huge problem. Invest money and have talent off the bench to come when the talent on the field isn't playing well, but it's a problem at the moment, because besides Van de Beek, who comes on when Pogba and Bruno are playing well, fine, you bring Van de Beek on for one of them, but who do you bring on for the other one? And that's the problem. Back to reason number one, we need to spend money. The fourth thing we have learned about Manchester United, I think this one is very interesting. It's a bit of a fun one, and it's a bit of a personal one. Marcus Rashford is starting to show signs of the player that we saw when he was playing well last season before he got injured. Now, there's a lot of rumours concerning his injury and the fact that he might potentially be playing through some of the aftermath of that stress fracture. Whether or not it's true, I don't know. And look, if he is playing through an injury, that is awful. I don't think a player should ever play through an injury, but what can you do? What can you do? Are you going to play Dan James? There's rumours that he's going to Leeds United. There's rumours that he's going to Leeds United in the coming days, so we can't play Dan James there. Lingard maybe, but I don't think Lingard scores the goal today. I don't think Lingard gets into those positions. On another day, Marcus Rashford has a hat-trick in that Brighton game, but unfortunately he was offside for two of them. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But in all seriousness, opinions aside, agendas aside, I think Marcus Rashford played well today, and I think he was very promising in the 10 minutes against Luton Town. To come on off the bench when you haven't played particularly well in the last 3 months and make that much of an impact in less than 5 minutes, albeit the reserve side of a championship team. Look, there were players who played awful in that game. I don't need to talk about our defense. There were players in the midfield who didn't play well in that game. So to me, you can only play what's in front of you, and you can only take the positives from what's in front of you. Do not be delusional, but you can praise. You can give praise where it's due. And I think Marcus Rashford is starting to get back into form. Hopefully it continues beyond that. All right, and the final one of the video, the fifth thing that we have learned, and that I actually, surprisingly, haven't heard that many people, at least in my close circle of football fans, whether it be United fans or fans outside the club who just have opinions about United, the Donny van de Beek signing. It was a very quick signing. It was a very swift and quick deal, and 40 million quid doesn't sound like a lot of money in today's transfer market, but it actually kind of is for Donny van de Beek. Obviously, it's a steal and it's a good price. I'm not complaining about the price at all. I'm just saying for Manchester United to get a deal of that magnitude done so quickly is a surprise because of how shocking we are in the transfer window. It almost suggests to me that this club is capable of doing deals. And you just got to wonder, why have we not done other deals? Okay, Jadon Sancho, 120 million, complex structure, whatever. Just playing the devil's advocate. Let's just say the Jadon Sancho deal is just an anomaly, and 120 million pound transfer is not something you can do overnight. Cool. We'll let that slide. Just for the purpose of this video. Bruno Fernandes took the whole month. Harry Maguire took the whole month. Aaron Wan-Bissaka took the whole month. All similar price range, all similar skill range, but for some reason, Donny van de Beek was very quick. Why do you think that is? Let me know in the comments down below if you have made it this far in the video, but I just thought that's an interesting one I'd throw in there because everybody talks about a poor reputation in the transfer window, and it is poor. But that was a pretty quick signing, and I was surprised by it. Very odd signing, but it is a very quick signing nevertheless. I love Van de Beek. But as I said in my previous video, if I take my personal feelings aside, it's a very strange signing considering the other priority positions. Anyways, it's been your boy Triple M with another video. Please don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Of course, trying out a new setup. I hope the camera quality isn't that bad. I'm trying my best with what I have. So yeah, peace out and enjoy the rest of your week.